On July 3rd, 2024, two teenagers, 14 and 15, Max and Jake, decided that they were going to hijack a train. 15-year-old Jake was also armed with a handgun. Every single River County Sheriff's Office and River Highway Patrol unit was dispatched to the train. The two teenagers were demanding $50,000 to stop the train, and if their demands weren't met, that they would crash into the other train that was sitting on the rails. Officer Gonzalez caught up to the train and waited for it to pass him. He didn't have to wait long. As you can see, the train was going pretty slow. Officer Gonzalez did quite a good job following and keeping up with the train. At this point, the train was going about 50 miles an hour. Fortunately, Officer Gonzalez was not injured in this crash, but as you can see now, it was pretty nasty. Another River Highway Patrol officer had caught up to the train, but he was just seconds late to the crash. As the teenagers saw the police officer, they floored the gas down on the train, but it did not go anywhere. The officer then apprehended the two suspects. The day before the train incident, Officer Mullins with the sheriff's office encountered a little tiny yellow car going about the speed of light. The suspect made a mistake of going the wrong way and eventually hit someone coming up the ramp. The suspect then started fleeing again. Officer Mullins took his patrol vehicle to the right-way lanes, but then lost the car. Officer Gonzalez, also with the sheriff's office, spotted the vehicle about 18 minutes later and started chasing after it. It looks like he's chasing a yellow M&M. The suspect then strikes a family of four head-on, and then spins out. On July 1st, 2024, a 35-year-old man named Beamng decided to take his girlfriend out for a drive in his supercar. He wanted to impress his brand new girlfriend with the speed of the car, so he decided to take it on the highway. That would be one of the biggest mistakes he ever made in his entire life. Beamng was passing cars doing triple the speed limit and honking at them to move out of the way. He then lost control of the car, flipped on a hill, and then crashed into a tree. Officer Mullins from the previous incident responded to the crash immediately. It is insanely hard to tell where the supercar actually crashed at. That's why Officer Mullins accidentally went across the bridge, even though the supercar never went across the bridge. He then turned around. Officer Mullins then located the supercar and knew he had to do some off-roading to actually get to the car. The wreckage was absolutely devastating, which is why the fire department was called. They sent one of their rescue trucks out to help. This is some footage of the crash that Officer Mullins filmed with his phone. The ambulance arrived shortly after. On June 30th, Officer Gonzalez observed the stolen ambulance running away. Shortly after, the stolen ambulance was actually reported in through the radio, but he was already chasing it. The ambulance was stolen by 31-year-old Marcus. After a short chase, he actually drove into a tree this time. On June 21st, 2024, Officer Harrison observed the house on fire. He immediately dispatched the fire department and turned his lights on. After the truck driver realized he took a wrong turn, he decided to take the truck off-roading. Less than 1 minute after leaving the scene of the other house, Officer Harrison observed a very sketchy car leaving another house on fire and decided to go pull it over. Eventually they found out the car was full of teenagers. One was 14, one was 15, one was 17, and one was 18. After being tired with dealing with their reindeer games, Officer Harrison decided to pull in front of the vehicle. After pulling in front of the vehicle, the driver decides to floor it. After bashing the side of that vehicle, Officer Harrison still continues with the chase. The suspect wouldn't go very far after that crash. You're about to see where most of the suspects go after they get taken to the police station. The first teenager was charged with possession of a gun as a minor, assault with a deadly weapon, holding someone hostage, and hijacking. The second teenager is charged with hijacking and holding someone hostage. The first teenager will most likely be released from the juvenile detention center in many, many years to come. The second teenager, however, will probably only be held for a few months or a few years. Next up is the little M&M car driver. Charges they got were fleeing from police, reckless driving, and criminal vehicular assault times 5. Next up is the ambulance thief, who got charged for destruction of government property, fleeing from police, and criminal vehicular assault times 4. Next up is the arsonist. The first arsonist, who was the 18-year-old who was also driving the car, was charged with arson and fleeing from the police. The second arsonist, who was 17 years old in the passenger seat, was also charged with arson. Check out the River Highway Patrol and River County Sheriff's Office car setups. Be sure to check every new episode for new car setups that come.